Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to fix a bug. So I have been asking my friends and family to play this game, and while everybody is able to figure out that they need to burst this balloon, the way most people are doing it is just simply dragging the arrow to burst the balloon, which is of course not what we want. We want them to aim the arrow and then fling it, because that's one of the core mechanic without which the game isn't as much fun. So let's go ahead and fix that. The way I'm going to fix that is that I'm going to have the user limit the distance to which the arrow can be dragged within a circle from the bow joint, the fixed bow joint area. Alright, so let's go ahead and first of all locate the script where we have the entire code written, where what needs to be done if somebody touches the screen, somebody doesn't touch the screen, somebody releases the arrow. So let's go to our scripts, go to arrow launcher, open it, and locate the area where we release the arrow, or no, sorry, where we touch, where there is a touch, this area basically. The code below gets executed whenever there is a touch, which is exactly what we are looking for. Currently the arrow is being spawned at the place of touch, but now what we want to do is first of all check if the distance of touch, okay, first of all get the distance of touch to define maximum distance to which the arrow can be dragged. 3, if the distance of touch from the bow joint, the distance of touch is greater than max distance, then spawn the arrow at max distance. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, just follow along, it will help, although there's a little bit of trigonometry involved. So let's get started. First thing we need is a vector. um, Vector is the relative distance of the point of touch from the bow joint, and the way we are going to do that is use the vector2 variable, and let's say touch to point vector, and the touch to point will be the distance from game world position where the touch is to the bow dot position. So we have our vector now. Next we need to make sure that touch to point, and now this is the absolute distance, which would be magnitude, that is the y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square square root, trigonometry 101. So what we will do here is make sure that this distance that we just talked about is if it's greater than the maximum radius, max arrow radius. We haven't defined this variable, let's go ahead and define that variable. And but if it is so, then spawn arrow spawn distance, arrow spawn distance to be kept at max radius, and then we will spawn it, which is basically this current arrow dot position is equal to not the game world but bow dot position plus whatever we will define here, um, plus, okay, so touch 2 point dot magnitude. So let's ignore okay, so couple of things. So what did I just write? What's the logic behind this? If there is a touch and it's within the radius we have defined, then the touch to point, this code will never be executed, and simply the distance from the bow joint will directly be executed. In simple words, wherever the player touches, that's where the bow joint will be executed, as long as it's within the radius. However, if the touch is beyond the allowed area, then we will go into inside this code, and then we will have to cap the touch to point to the maximum radius. So first of all, let's define the maximum radius, and I'm going to have it be a serialized field because I don't know what the distance should be right now. So if I have it be serialized field, then I will be able to play around with it in Unity and figure out the right number. I'm going to use it as int right now, private, because I assume that it won't be needed elsewhere. So I've got private int and max arrow radius. So hopefully this will work. Let's go back down. Now what we got is that the max arrow radius is exceeded, the touch is beyond that point, so we have to scale it back. So the way I'm going to do that is touch to point will be equal to the, okay, touch to point dot normalized. So that makes sure that, so normalized means there is one unit and there is direction, but it doesn't have the entire magnitude, so we'll have to multiply it back with the magnitude, which in our case is max arrow radius. Okay, that should work. Yep, touch to point, this is a vector, this is normalized, so it should have both direction and a unit or magnitude, and then I'm multiplying it with max arrow radius, and then when I spawn it, it will either be at the point of touch or the maximum allowed point. Okay, hopefully I've done everything right. Let's go back to the code, and okay, the operator plus can be applied to operands of type vector 2 and float. Okay, I was worried this would happen. That's fine. Bow dot position, this is a float, this is the vector. Why have I written magnitude here? It's equal to game position. Okay, this is fine. I just needed a vector, and both are vector now. Okay, perfect. So let's see if the code is working as intended. Let's try. Okay, it's definitely not dragging, so that's good, but is it completely falling, or is it moving even a little bit? Let's go to the arrow launcher script. We should be getting a serialized field option here, max arrow radius. Why is it not visible? Will it be, where is the, did I attach arrow launcher to a different body? Is it on the bow? No. What about the arrow prefab? It has only balloon buster, not the arrow launcher. What's the issue? So if I go to arrow launcher, default references will only be added in edit mode. Ideally, oh, here it is. It's a game object. Oh, and the maximum radius is 2. Why didn't I set it to 2? Did I forget that? Yeah, I wanted to have the default be 2. Okay, now we are back. We have got a default arrow radius of 2. Let's see if this works. Okay, it again looks like an arrow radius of 2. 0. It should have been 2. Let's try changing it manually and see what happens. I think there's been default instantiation. Okay, yeah, perfect. So this is moving in a radius of 2. This is slightly lower because sometimes I have to use edge of the skin of the screen. So let's have it be changed to 3. Does this work? Let's see. Three. Will the balloon burst from here? It did burst. But I want to try it again. I don't want to take up too much space here. Don't want them to allow it to move it too far, but also not limit them so much that they cannot burst the balloon. This is too little. Let's increase the radius size to 4, and let's test that again. Yeah, this is much better, and this is the maximum distance that they can go to. So I'll have to keep it in mind that I always have balloons beyond this point. I don't want them bursting it directly, and that should be fine. Okay, perfect. So now the game is in an even better state. We have got the score at the top, and the movement of the arrow is limited to this area. See you next video.